So everyone, dangal greetings po. We are a group from 2ITA and I am Bautista Lawrence Jr. C, the leader of this group. So for our midterm laboratory examination, we are tasked to do a transaction management system, including CRUD, with using jQuery in JavaScript. So let's go for our demonstration. So here we have selecting a transaction type. We have cash in a and cash out just like Gcash. So enter number 099666405590 and amount of 100. Then description anything but I will enter cash in. Then add transaction. Then there will be in table it will be add for number, type, type cash in, amount which is with 100 pesos and description cash in whatever you put in the description and action to be removed. And when I click the button remove, it will remove the transaction. Or another one when I let's try the filter out. So first let's have a cash in again for 0.590 and cash in and again 0976662588 amount 100 pesos again. Then description cash out and I will add transaction again. So this is how the filtering works. We have a drop down for filter all transaction, which means that it will show all the transactions that we have. But when I select the cash in, it will show only the cash in transaction and cash out for cash out. So now that now that is the for our demonstration. But now let's explain for what magic behind all of that, which is our JavaScript code. So in JavaScript code, we have a different classes. We have four different classes. But let's first discuss the parent class um, of the two other class, which is the transaction class transaction. We have constructor and we have parameter of number, type, amount, description. And we have get formatted amount, which is return that peso sign plus this amount to fix two decimal points. Then class cash in extends to transaction, which is here. We have constructor of constructor number amount description, and we have to call the parameter super to the parent class and get label return money receive class cash out extend transaction um, just like cash in, but in this the type of transaction which is cash out and get labeled return money spent. So now let's go to our transaction manager class, which is a different class to the transaction cash in and cash out.
So, Dangal greetings po. I'm Andre C. Capoy and I am here to discuss the Class Transaction Manager. So, under the Class Transaction Manager, it contains a constructor. So, when a new instance of Transaction Manager is created, its constructor initializes two important properties. So, first is the transactions, which is an empty array that will hold all the transaction objects. And the next ID, it starts at 1 to assign a unique identifier to each transaction automatically. So, next po is the add method allows you to add a new transaction to the manager. It takes three parameters like type, amount, and description. So, depending on whether the type is in or out, so it creates a new instance of either cash in or cash out using the current next ID as the transaction's ID. So, after creating the transaction, it increments next ID for the next transaction and stores the transaction to the transactions array. Finally, it returns the newly created transaction object. So next is the remove method, which provides functionality to delete a transaction by its unique ID. So it searches the transactions array for a transaction that matches the given ID using find index. So if the transaction exists, it removes it from using array using splice and returns true to indicate a successful removal. So if no transaction with the specified ID is found, it simply returns false. So next is the filter method. So it uses to retrieve transactions based on type. So if all is passed as the type, it returns the entire array of transactions. Otherwise, it filters the transaction and returns only that matches the specified type, either in for cash in or out for cash outflows. So next is the get total in and get total out methods. So this simply calculates the total amounts for cash inflows and outflows respectively. So they first filter the transactions by type in or out and then use reduce function to sum up the amounts. So this method typically provide quick access to the total incoming and outgoing cash values in the system. So next is the get balance. So this simply computes the overall balance by subtracting the total cash out or get total out from the total cash in or get total in. So this provides a real-time calculation of the net amount of money available based on all transactions managed by the system. So lastly po, the, the validate input function is a form validation utility that ensures transaction data is correct before it is added to the manager. So first, it checks the type is either in or out. So if the amount is a valid positive number and if the description is not empty or just white space, if any of these checks fail, it displays an alert message and returns false. So otherwise, if all inputs are valid, it returns true, allowing the transaction to be added safely. Next.
Our next functions, we have get form data. This simply gets all the data that user entered in all input fields that we have, such as number, type dropdown, and amount and description. And it will turn the specific data. Then for clear input fields, it will clear all the input fields that we have after the user successfully add a transaction. So now let's go to render table.
Greetings, Sir Jano. So I'm Abraham Christopher M. Bukid. So let's proceed to the render table function. So basically, the purpose of the render table function is to dynamically display all the transactions in the table based on the selected filter. So this function is very essential part of the transaction management system because it ensures that the table on the web page always reflect on the current state of the transaction data, including the newly added, removed, or filtered transaction. So as you can see, there is a t-body that empty, so that ensures that the table is cleared before adding new rows. Without this, old rows would remain causing duplicate entries or incorrect data display. So let's proceed to the loop. So the function uses for each method to iterate through the transactions array. So the transaction represents each transaction object, and index is the position in the array which is used to identify the transaction for removal. The condition if um, in this condition, so only the transactions that match the selected filter are displayed. For example, cash in, cash out, or all. So this makes the table dynamic and responsive to the user input. Next is the creation of the table row. So as you can see, there is template literals here. The constant row is equal to the table rows, and this template literals using backticks, it allows inserting JavaScript variables directly into the HTML. So this makes the code cleaner and easier to read than concatenating strings manually. The data minus index equals $index attribute in the remove button allows identifying which transaction to delete from the array. Last is the append. So this adds the newly created row to the table body in the element in the HTML table. So by using append, this ensures that rows are added sequentially, maintaining the order of transactions. So in summary of the render table, this function is written in this way to efficiently dynamically display transactions, handle filtering by type, and integrate the remove button functionality.
Dangal greetings everyone. I'm Balbero Lira Piangelo, and my part of the project covers the summary functions. So these are the three functions responsible for updating the totals and balance displayed at the bottom of the page whenever a transaction is added, removed, or filtered. So first, let's start with the update summary. So the first function is the main summary function that gets called every time something changes in the table. So first we define the function and it accepts one parameter, which is the filter, which tells us which view the user is currently on. So that is the all, the cache in or cache out. Next is the three lines called method from the transaction manager class, which are the total in, total out, and the balance. So the total in adds up all cash in amounts, the get total out adds up all cash out amounts, and the get balance subtracts the two to get the current balance. So we store those results in those three variables. Next, here we use a jQuery to find the total in and the total out spans in the HTML by their IDs, and we update their text. So the to fix parameter 2, make sure that number always shows two decimal places. Next is the if statement. It handles how the balance is displayed. So if the balance is negative, meaning the user spent more than they received. So we use math.abs to remove the negative sign and manually place it before the peso sign. And finally, we call the other two function, passing the filter and balance values to them. So this keeps the three functions to work together. So our second function is the toggle summary rows. So its job is to show or hide the total cash in and total cash out rows depending on which filter the user selected. So if the filter is all, both rows are visible. We call that show on both of them using their IDs from the HTML. Next, if the filter is cash in, we only show the cash in row and hide the cash out row. And the opposite, for cash out, we hide the cash in and only show the cash out. And lastly, we have our update balance color. So the third function, this is simple but important visual feature. So it makes the balance text turn green when positive and red when negative. So it receives the balance value passed down by the update summary function. First, we remove both CSS classes from the balance span. This is important because we always clear the old class before adding a new one so the colors don't stack up on each other. Then we check the value. If the balance is 0 or greater, we add the positive class, which the CSS files style as green. If it's below 0, we add the negative class, which is styled as red. This gives the user the immediate visual indicator of their financial status. And that's all.
For our next function and jQuery, you have dollar sign, which is the function for jQuery. Then if the user click the button add, it will its function, it will add to the table, just like this. If all input is valid, then it will add to the table. It will add to the manager, and it will call the clear input fields. Then it will add to the table, which is the render table, and it will also update the summary, which Mr. Balbero discusses. Then for the remove transaction, here's the function. When the user click the button remove, it will simply splice for the index, and it will only remove one row. Then it will call again the render table and update summary for the changes for the table. And for filter change, it will be this function. It will call the render table to change the table and update summary to update the summary or change the summary. That will be all for our midterm laboratory examination. I hope you understand, guys. I hope you understand, Sir Janus. Thank you po. Andrea.